fallen human nature of Adam. Surah 32, ayat 9. It says, then he proportioned him and breathed into him from his spirit, and he made for you the hearing and the vision, and the affidavit, hearts, minds, and soul. Little thanks do ye give. Allah is speaking here on the special nature of the human being. He's speaking about all mankind, male and female, and how mankind has the spirit from Allah himself. He explains that Allah gave it to all living things, but gave the human being additional help so that he would be able to grow beyond the fixed boundaries limiting the non-human entities. Allah gave humanity free minds, free intellects, free thoughts, and free will. So there we start talking about that higher level of rationalism and the ability to think and use intellect and imagination to connect ourselves to creation. So because of that, the human creation is not in conflict with the other creation, but rather intended to be a complement with creation, a continuation of creation, a completion to creation. The human mind, the intellect, expresses itself in creation, but beyond the limits of the non-human creation that God made. So we're all part of Allah's creation, but we have something above the rest of the creation. And we know that because when he spoke about creating Adam with the angels and the jinn, he explained then that he gave us more and asked them or directed everyone to bow down to this new creation. So man is an emotional, moral, spiritual entity and identified in the abstract and the concrete rather not the concrete. So we're not talking about the physical body being the man. We look just like a primate. Our physical body is not that much different from a primate. What makes us different is the abstract component of us, right? The intellect and the spirit, not the physical form. And so, some cultures, some faiths get that confused because they're talking about being made in the form of God. They're talking about a physical form. But we're talking about having the spirit of Allah that he breathed into us. He gave us part of his spirit. That is the form in which we are looking at. So the human being is a special creation from Allah that he gave to his spirit and free will and choice and advanced thinking abilities. This sets the human being apart from the other entities in creation. In fact, it highlights the human being as fitra-based spiritual being, not a physical being. Thus, the implication is to focus on the spiritual development and not the physical component of the human being. So when we're talking about progress, it will be most important for us to look at the spiritual development. So in Quran Surah 2, ayats 30 through 39, we're talking about where Allah is talking to the angels and presenting Adam. And recall when your Lord said to the angels, I am to place a Khalifa on earth. They said, will you place therein one who will do corruption in it and shed blood while we chant your praises and sanctify your name? And he said, verily, I know what you do not know. What you do know not. Excuse me. And he taught Adam the names. And we're talking about the names, the book, the chair. We're talking about the nature of something, the nature behind it, of things. When he had told them their names and said, did I not tell you that I am aware of the unknown and the heavens and the earth, and I'm aware of what you reveal and what you conceal? And when we said to the angels, prostrate yourself before Adam, they fell prostrate, except Iblis. He refused, waxed pride, and became of the infidels. Surah 16, ayah 14. It is he who has made the sea subject, that you may eat therein of flesh that is fresh and tender, and that you may extract therefrom ornaments to wear, and thou seest the ships therein that plow the waves, and ye may seek thus of the bounty of Allah, that ye may be grateful. So he made creation subject to Adam, to mankind. So even creation is recognizing the superiority of the intellectual part of the mankind. But in the sense that it is there for you to use. It is there for you to use with your intellect to be able to do more, to build more, to do our level of creation in the society. Surah 62, Ayah 27. Who is it that responds to the call of the constrained when he calls him and removes the evil and makes you successors of the earth? Another characteristic of the human nature, being successors of the earth. It is he who made you succeed each other on earth, one after another, developing from stage to stage. Allah tells us that all human beings have the potential to be Khalifa or successor. He shares that God entrusted to the Khalifa together, not separately, so not one person, the humankind, as collective rule, and in that case, we can be the rule in creation. The children of Adam are the whole of mankind. Adam is not one person, but a collective mindset. Because remember, Adam is not the physical, Adam is the spiritual, the mind's collective mindset. Imam Wardi Muhammad identifies Adam as the representative of the awakening of the mind for the purpose for which man is created. It is a consciousness, a transformational force representing the human nature. It's also a beginning of life or the history of human life when man awakens to his natural excellence or his inherent worth as a creation among many things that God has created. Adam is then essentially evolved human nature. And this is important because there were flesh and blood people on earth thousands of years before we had the concept of Adam being a creation. But they weren't true humans because they had not awakened to their divine purpose. So Adam, the mindset, Adam, the spirit, Adam, the excellent natural entity is a achievement. That's what we want to be. So Allah tells us what happens when we are not in alignment with our human nature. We know about what happened to Adam in Surah 2, Ayah 35. O Adam, dwell you and your wife in the Garden of Eden and eat freely therefrom from where and of what you wish, but do not draw near this tree lest you become of the transgressors. But Satan caused them to slip about it and brought out of that they were in. So we said, go down, some of you enemies unto others, for you shall be a sojourn in the earth and enjoyment for a time. Thereafter Adam learned certain words from his Lord, and he turned to him in mercy. Indeed, he is the oft-turning and all merciful. We said, go down to the earth, all of you from this place. Then wherever comes to you a guidance from me, then those who follow my guidance will have nothing to fear, nor shall they grieve. As for those who disbelieved and denied our signs, they indeed shall be the inhabitants of the fire. They shall abide in it forever. Allah tells us our true nature is that of obedience to Him. That's our original nature. And when we go against our nature, then we succumb to the lower expressions of our basic human nature, then we fall from that characteristic of being Adam. So that concept is important because it dispels the fairy tale story of this concept of Adam and Eve and it releases that social construct of being basically inherently evil. So remember, we talked about human nature. Some philosophers believe that we are inherently evil, but that is not the nature of mankind, and that is not the nature of Adam. So as we think about this and we think about progressing, we think about all of the stories that Allah has told us in the Quran when we talked about disobedience. Prophet Shuaib and the what was this? Aika, is that correct? Surah 26, 177. Have you no fear? I am trustworthy messenger to you. So fear Allah and obey me. I ask of you no reward for this. My reward is with none but the Lord of the universe. Fill up the measure and do not diminish the goods of people. Weigh with an even balance and do not deliver short and do not go about creating mischief in the land. So this is ayats 177 through 191 with Prophet Shuaib. You are no more than one of those who have been bewitched. You are only a mortal to us. That's what the people told him. Indeed, we believe that you are an utter liar. So cause the peace of the sky to fall upon us if you are truthful. Shuaib said, my Lord knows well all that you do. Then they branded him a liar, whereupon the chastisement of the day of the canopy overtook them. It was the chastisement of a very awesome day. Surely this is a sign in this, but most of them would not believe. Your Lord is immensely mighty, most compassionate. So what did these people do? They were diminishing the goods of the people. So I'm going to take from you, but I'm not going to give you your just due. They were delivering in short, so transactions were not properly done, and they were creating mischief in the land. Are these characteristics of today? Yes. And what happened to them? They were destroyed. The people of Thamud and Prophet Salih. Surah 7, ayahs 73 through 78. And to Thamud we sent their brother Salih. O my people, worship Allah. You have no other God but Him. Indeed, there has come to you a clear sign, the miracle of the coming out of a huge she-camel from the midst of a rock from your Lord. This she-camel of Allah is a sign unto you. So you leave her to graze in Allah's earth and touch her not with harm, lest a painful torment should seize you. So one thing that we saw that they were doing was associating gods with God, right? Sure. In 74, it talks about, remember He has made you successors. So they got the covenant of Allah. They were successors. Gave you habitations in the land. You built for yourselves palaces. So they were being blessed with that ability. Carving out homes in the mountains. Great architectural work. So we hear about. Remember the graces bestowed upon you from Allah. And don't go about making mischief in the earth. So they are making mischief in the earth. The leaders were arrogant, according to the surah and the ayats. And those in 76 says, those who were arrogant said, verily we disbelieve in which you believe in. That's pretty arrogant to say I disbelieve in what you believe in. So then they defied the commandment in 77. And then in 78, the ayah says, an earthquake seized them and left them dead, prostrate in those beautiful buildings that they built, that they were so proud of. And you could die right there in them. That's another one. And then, Salih, if you read the right translation of the Quran, you don't even have to watch a movie. You don't have to watch a comedy show. You don't have to be thrilled. You could just read the Quran. You could be terrified, thrilled. You can see comedy. It can all there. Because in 79, Salih turned to them and said, O my people, I have indeed conveyed to you the message of my Lord and have given you good advice. but you don't like good advisors. That seems like a line in a movie, right? I tried to tell you and give you good advice, but that's not what you wanted. This is what you got, though. So, and then you have Sodom and Gomorrah, Prophet Luke, Surah 7, Ayah 80 through 84. I won't read them all, but we'll just hit on what it says. We know that in 81, it talks about practicing your lust on men instead of women. Mm-hmm. Is that going on today? Mm-hmm. They were told to, they're going to drive you out of town. They want to be, and the men who were intelligent, they want to be pure from these sins they trying to get out. So Allah saved the family except the wife. She was one who remained behind in the torment. I don't know where I was listening to this in the last couple of days, and they were talking about Prophet Luke's wife and why she was left behind. Because she wasn't the one who was, she wasn't a man, she wasn't sleeping with the men. I don't think they talk about her sleeping with women. But it wasn't the physical act. It was her thinking about it. And so if you have not taken a stand against something, and you have not become clear within yourself, you are still associating your emotions to something. Bringing it to a place where we're getting ready to do purity, you're going to be the bad apple in the group. You're going to bring that same mindset, that okayness into this environment. So you can't come. You got to stay. Since you love that, even if you're not doing it, you stay over there with them then. You can be destroyed with them as well. And that's what happened to her. And then we all know Prophet Musa, Moses, and the Pharaoh. The things that they were doing, Surah 7, Ayahs 104 to 137. I'm just going to go through and identify. 127, it says that the Pharaoh said, we will kill their sons and let their women live, and we indeed have irresistible power over them. So they're killing people. They're doing genocide, separating families. And Allah is sending them all these signs. We know they were into sorcery. Do we have that going on? Yes. So Allah, and this was very interesting because I read this several times. I was like, if anybody got several signs to get right, these people got a lot of signs to get right. First, they got years of drought and shortness of fruits and crops that they could take heed. So y'all are going through drought and shortness of food. That would probably get me to act right. But no, when they finally got out of that state, they said that was because of me. As a Pharaoh, I did this. And anything that happened wrong is because of those people who kept trying to speak against me. So they ascribed anything that was evil or negative that happened to them to the evil omens that were connected with Musa. It had to be him. He brought that upon us. So then Allah said, okay, well, I'm going to send you something else. I'm going to send you flood, locusts, lice, frogs, and blood. That's what Ayah 133 says. I think that's enough right there to probably get me to act right. But not them. No, they realize strong in what they believe in. Because Musa says, hey, invoke your Lord for us because of his promise to you. You will remove the punishment. No. They're asking Musa to tell your God to remove this punishment from us that he has given to us. I think I read that wrong. Pharaoh is asking Moses to tell his God to remove the punishment. So they realize it's a punishment. And they realize it's from this God that they are rejecting. But no. So then they got drowned. And Allah says, we destroyed completely all the great works and buildings which the Pharaoh and his people erected. So I think that we have seen lots of things today that would tell us that it's the end, that we should probably redirect ourselves, but I think we're dealing with the mindset of the people right now. So when we talked about all of the ills that we identified, and we look at where we are in society right now, we're experiencing not one of these things, but probably almost everything that was named out of all the communities are being manifested right now. So if just one set of this would cause one reaction from Allah, what do you think all of these things together are going to cause? We have a thing that says eradicating crime. Got a lot of crime going on. So according to the human rights, one of their surveys, they did a Pew Research survey conducted June the 5th through the 11th, 2023. They surveyed 5,115 members of the Center's National Representative American Trends Panel. So they take representatives from all over the country, and they survey them as a sample of everybody in the country. They have some of every kind of person. And so they said that the top problems facing the nation were inflation, healthcare affordability, drug addiction, and gun violence. And if you were to get a printout of this and look at it, the top ones across all age groups would be inflation, healthcare, gun violence is next, and violent crime, in that order. If you look at the youngest people, 18 to 29, the top ones for them are inflation, healthcare, drug addiction, and gun violence. Unemployment is high for them, but that's lower than the other ones. Now, they all stay together or stay in the house with you. That's not a concern. So the topic is seeking progress through love, and the month-long topic is light, opportunity, vision, and eradicating crime. And so the conversation that Juma Friday talked about getting out of slavery is not the final step of self-actualization. So you talked about being free was the solution to slavery, but it's not. Being free is simply being unchained. And so it is championing being untied to leadership. So if you have no leader, then you are essentially wild. Because you didn't say you were your own leader. You were saying you don't have no leader, right? I am just completely free. So you're in the wilderness and you have the ability to go and come at will. And a society that seeks to rise from slavery towards freedom without changing mindsets and developing individuals is doomed to only experience freedom from slavery, but has yet to experience the ultimate goal of mastery, which is what we're talking about when we talk about the human nature of Adam, the excellent human nature of Adam. We're getting there. So, Surah 30, verse 41, chaos has appeared on the land and sea because of what the hands of men has earned, that God may give them a taste of their deeds in order that they may turn back from evil. We are in a state of chaos. We are experiencing what our mankind has earned, but we have the opportunity to turn back. Will we be like the Pharaoh? So we have concerns, and our concerns are, how do we get from freedom and wilderness to mastery, to self-actualization, to the Adam level? So I also heard Friday DNA, and I typed in the thing DNA. It said dignified nature of Adam, and I was like, hey, that's right on time for the presentation. So one of the challenges for the human being, according to Imam Worthy Muhammad, is understanding our own nature. Understanding how our nature allows us to manage our life and our affairs. And Al-Islam places a demand on all human beings, the obligation to strive for excellence, as dictated by our fitra-based human nature. Allah, our Creator, dictates alignment with human nature and excellence in Surah 3, Ayah 104. Let there be from you a community inviting to goodness and prosperity, commanding universally recognized human excellence, preventing influences that void human nature. They will be the successful. The successful. There was a lot in there. So we have an obligation. We have an obligation to our individual selves and to our communities. We have the obligation to invite to goodness, commanding to command universally recognized human excellence. Not just the human excellence that you want for yourself, universal for all people, for all situations. And we are commanded to prevent the influences that void our human nature. And when we do all of those things, we can be successful. Okay? So when we talk about the universally recognized human nature, that's the ma'ruf, that's what is good and permissible. Allah is telling us that we have to act in the best of standards and traditions for things that are known and tested. And that's why it's important to understand history and understand our own development, what works and what doesn't. The munkar is what is strange to human nature. That is what is the opposite of the universally recognized human excellence. So the opposite of that. So we have to forbid it, resist it, and push it back. It's what's harmful for us. It's what's harmful to our religion, our practice. It's those things that are against our human nature, that are against our fitra. It's anything that is unjust, that is unfair, that is corrupt. This has implications for us as an individual, but also as a collective, because we're talking about a big task. If it's something that makes our religion void, then we have to avoid it, stay away from it, resist it, and also remove it from the path of others. So we have an obligation not just for us not to be involved, but to remove it. That's a big task to say, you don't do this, and then I'm going to make sure that the other people can't do it. That's a bigger task. That's a responsibility. So, Islam leads you to address the best of your nature and to grow your abstract nature, your spirit, that human nature, asks you to increase your mental capacity so that you can use your intellect to create, to imagine, to do those things. You must be social so that you can collectively protect, and then take all of those things, building your spiritual nature. And Allah gives us that excellent example in who? Prophet Muhammad. Alhamdulillah. In Prophet Muhammad. Allah gives us these directives to align ourselves and to achieve the highest form of our human excellence. So Surah 30, Ayah 30 says, establish your purpose and direction for religion rightly inclined. Allah's natural pattern of fitra, which he originated man on. There should be no altering Allah's creation. That is the ever-true faith, and most men do not know. Okay, so the solution to what we're talking about. When we look at our original nature, and we look at our communities right now, we know that we're under attack. We know that our communities have become self-destructive. We're self-destructing. There's, that's when you can do the rap. We headed for self-destruction. So from a scientific view, when you think about your bodies, you're sitting here right now, we're always in a constant fight to battle outside forces. While you're sitting here right now, your body is fighting off bacteria, viruses, particles in the air. It's happening right while we're sitting here. Your white blood cells and your antibodies are going to those areas where these things have come in, and it's trying to destroy them. There's a war going on in your body right now, right? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're alive, the battle is happening. So when you're not exhibiting any sickness, that means that you're winning the battle. Your body is winning. But the minute that you begin to feel that you're not 100%, that is an indication that your body is losing the battle. So whatever's in there, whatever's going on, has gotten the best of you, okay? And your body is trying to fight that off. Doesn't mean that you have succumbed to it. It just means that at this time, you start to get a little warmer. You might have a fever. They're looking for fever because heat is a product of reaction. So there's something going on in your body. Your body is trying to fight. And so when they say, hey, you have the flu, what they're really saying is that influenza virus, one, not that it's in your body, because it's in your body probably right now. So, but your body is winning the battle. So being exposed to something does not mean that you succumb to it. It's around you all the time. Sometimes it's in you. But you have to be able to fight it off so that you become the winner of the battle. And your body, there are signs in creation. That is a sign for us. When you study creation, you study how Allah has designed us, you can read the signs, like when you said, what is the beginning of this? Read what Allah has revealed. Read the signs in creation. That is something that Allah has given us the intellect to do. And there is a message in just your physical body. When you are ill, you are in a state of disease, dis-ease. Okay? And so what do you do when you're in a state of dis-ease and disease and you have succumbed to something that has become more powerful than what you can fight off? And you have these symptoms and you feel like you just cannot go on. What do? You go to a doctor. Because you go to a place because you would like to have care. And there's a doctor there or a nurse or somebody that has some type of prescription. They're going to prescribe something to you. And they're going to nurse you back to health, to a state of ease. Okay? Our communities and our society is in a state of dis-ease. And it needs wraparound care.